All right, guys, let's talk about some more Daredevil. All right, we are back to talk about some more Daredevil. We have watched episodes 9 and episodes 10, if I'm not mistaken. 9 is Speak with the Devil, and we're going to talk about those episodes leading into the last 3 episodes of the season. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go through the next 2 episodes after this one, and then we're going to do the finale as one episode and talk about what we thought after watching it. So, guys, what did y'all think about these 2 episodes in the Daredevil series?
I really like these 2 episodes. I think the fight in episode 9 is really cool, and the way they sort of wove it throughout the episode was very interesting and well done. And I think
Yeah.
episode 10 is the perfect, follow up to that, because it's like, what would happen when Foggy finds out what Matt has been doing? And that's really, there's other stuff that happens in episode 10, but that's really the heart of episode 10 for me, is that conversation between Foggy and Matt. So I really enjoy these episodes.
When she says Matt, she's not talking about Matt Munoz. She's talking about the Daredevil.
Yep.
But Matt, what did you think about the last couple episodes we were able to watch?
Yeah, I liked him a lot. That fight in episode 9 was brutal. He got tore up in that thing, and then he had to face Fisk, who tore him up even more. But yeah, I liked him a lot. I'm happy. I can't wait to watch some more.
Yeah, I like both of these episodes as well. I will say that the fight was almost too brutal for it not to be like the final fight of the season to me, because like he gets messed up, right? Like I'm talking about, he gets his ass beat, like he gets a thing shoved into his stomach and gets dragged by it, at one point during that fight and everything as the episode was going on. So I'd say that fight should have been, if it's going to be that big of a thing where he gets beat up that much, it probably should have been like kind of the final episode of the season or something like that, because that you run into these things where golly, bro, nobody could take this guy out. Just they could have had that fight done the same way. I'm just talking about the fact of how bad he got beat up, because he got beat up majorly in that fight. So, but it was fun to watch though. I mean, nothing bad about like the technicality of the fight and how it was. And I even like the brutality. Like I said, I'm just one of those people that's like, bro, he just got taken out and then gets beat up by Fisk, like you were just talking about afterwards, and he barely escapes or whatnot. But it's like, how did you even get home? Like, how'd you even get to the house? But like we said a couple of times, you got to kind of know what you're watching. And we're watching a superhero like show or movie, either one of them. Things are going to happen that don't make sense sometimes, or like Brandi, one of the first few episodes, he gets beat up and his face is perfectly fine like 5 minutes later or whatever, and I kind of understood what she's talking about. And I do think this episode had a little bit of that going on, especially episode 9. And I do agree, I like episode 10. That is pretty interesting that they did it early in this first season or whatnot, where he gets found out and like now that his best friend knows he's Daredevil. But I love the conversation and to go back, back and forth during that whole entire episode where they're discussing like, and he's mad, then he's kind of like maybe siding with him a little bit and everything else, and then he kind of goes away from it and all that. So I enjoyed both episodes. Anything particular like that, like you thought that maybe was like your favorite thing about any of those episodes, or just a fight?
The conversation between Foggy and Matt.
Okay, so that's like your number one thing. Matt, was that your number one thing too? Like the conversation is like in episode 10?
No, honestly, Foggy was pissing me off, kind of like how he was so hurt. I mean, I can understand how you'd be hurt like that, but like he just kept going after him. Like, and are you really blind? Like, come on, he's not faking being blind. You know what I mean? I don't know. So yeah, I like the fight better, but Foggy was pissing me off a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I can kind of understand what you're saying. Like at that point, the only thing that I give like him having pushback against Daredevil, like, and you being like his best friend, would be that you actually, because of the way the media and stuff like that in the show was covering like Daredevil, like you would think there's a chance that you would think he's a bad guy. So now you're like, oh shit, like, are you a bad guy or a good guy? Like, what's going on? But once he explained everything and all that, and you also know that he's playing part of this story where they're kind of like finding out about Fisk and stuff. So as soon as Fisk gets mentioned, it seems like if that guy's your best friend, that you would be like, oh, okay, I believe you, it's Fisk, because I already know Fisk is doing things that are bad, kind of situation. So yeah, I can see a little bit of your point there.
Yeah, I can see that too, but I also think that like they're lawyers. They're supposed, and Matt had said to them, "We will go after Fisk through the law." And then Foggy's found out that he's not doing that, and that he actually went to that warehouse where he fought Nobu with the intention of killing Fisk. Like, I can understand Foggy being like seriously hurt and pissed off about that.
Yeah, I can see like both points and everything, but that to me, that's what makes a good show is we don't have to agree on every little thing, right? Like so. It's nuanced enough that we can have discussions about it, and that's what makes the show great to me is when you can sit down and talk about it, and people have different like looks into the certain situations and see what they see. But I don't think anybody would say that it was ultimately bad. Like Matt's not saying that that whole scene or that whole episode was bad. I don't think. I think he's more of like he doesn't agree with the character, but the writing and stuff was still okay, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We get Daredevil in episode 9, Speak with the Devil. We get it starts out with them fighting already, which is what Adelia was bringing up. We get Daredevil and the priest having a discussion here. And like you had said this earlier, because you had seen more episodes, if not all the episodes before us, that like the interaction between him and the priest was going to be kind of interesting. I'm kind of digging it now. It's kind of like a good point to like calm the show down just a little bit and have some interesting discussions between two characters.
Yeah, I really do like how they use the Catholicism that Matt, believes in this show, and with the priest and the church and all of that. I think it's really well done, and the more that it happens in these episodes as I rewatch them, the more I realize, oh yeah, they did really treat this as like a serious part of Matt's character, but it also is used to help further the storyline on. So I think they do a good job with it. Hi, Ferris.
Right?
Hey.
Oh, Ferris just popped in, boy, like the devil, like the devil.
Yeah.
The Devils of Hell's Kitchen.
But as we go, we kind of go to the bad guy's point of view where we see Fisk, and he's talking to the guy that Daredevil is actually fighting in this episode at this point. That's why it weaves back and forth. So technically the fights, technically the fight's happening at the end of the episode, but we're interweaving that with stuff that happened before the fight actually started. And this is where, Fisk and them have their discussions. Anybody's got anything for that?
No, not really, because it kind of shows the ominous nature of them, because we realized that a couple episodes beforehand where I don't know if it was in this episode or the episode before where Wesley says he doesn't like how he talks to you, and then he's like, what's the point of us doing business with him? Like, what's the point? And he's like, it's a necessary evil. So that means the Yakuza, the Japanese, have an overarching power across the city and across the universe. Not that was kind of the universe, if you really think about it. If because we're on a rewatch and we kind of know what already happens, so kind of like an arching thing around the universe where you have to deal with them. And
not all of us are on a rewatch. Justin's never watched the show before.
You've never watched Daredevil, Justin?
I watched like the first couple of first couple of episodes of the first season. So the first couple of episodes, I already kind of had an idea of what was going on, but I hadn't watched them in a while.
Oh, my apologies. Okay, then I'll keep that to myself then. My apologies.
No, it's one of those things to where it's like a mixture. It's no big deal. It's a mixture of people that's watched it before and people that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So it's not really a rewatch or cancel.
They kind of throw a little hints because of Black Sky and the point of he yells at Fisk saying like, you promised, and he's like, I did promise you and I delivered. There was no cops. The docks were clean. You messed up. I didn't mess up. I did my job.
Yeah, you
didn't do your job.
Yeah, basically he calls him out, which then plays into, and I think Fisk knows what he's doing here because then it plays into that guy's ego, right? So now that guy's like, what? He's got a point. I'm pissed off about it. Guess what I got to do? Handle it my damn self.
I gotta go kill that guy.
Well, in this episode, Nobu wants a specific city block. Yeah. And Fisk is like, I can offer you, I never promised you or guaranteed you a specific city block. And Nobu's like, no, it has to be this city block.
Yeah, and it happens to be the tenement where Miss Cardenas lives in that little area. Yeah. God rest her soul, man. God rest her soul.
All righty, then we have I thought was an interesting conversation with with them being in their law, office or whatever, Daredevil, Foggy, and Karen, and they have an interesting discussion that I thought was interesting because Daredevil comes in and says we're doing this by the law kind of thing, and he was really strict on. He was really like dead set on the law, and then we
He's
find
a
out.
liar.
And then, in the next episode,
He's a liar.
going against the law and a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
man. Like, yeah, no, exactly. It's because that's like if we really talk about like, yeah, he's been lying the entire time, like in that moment because he's like, because he knows they can't fight, so it's like y'all got to do the law. You know what I mean? You guys can't really fight nobody. I'm the one who knows how to fight, so I have to make you guys do the law part. Because if you guys do what I'm doing, I'm guarantee you're dead. You know what I mean? And so he has to. He wants to kind of. So he's lying to them to protect them because he wants them to stay safe because Karen almost died in like episode 2. So he's like, got to make sure. So he's forcing them to do the law because he knows if they're doing the law, he can then do the bone crunching, ass kicking behind the dark scenes. It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
I love it. I love the show. I love it so much. I completely forgot what happened to Miss Cardenas. I completely forgot that happened to her. And then when it happened again, I was like, oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah.
I've forgotten a number of scenes from this show, but I did remember what happened to Mrs. Cardenas.
I completely forgot. And you know what? See, this shout out to Willem. No. Vincent D'Onofrio. I was about to say Willem Dafoe. shout out to Vincent D'Onofrio, one of my favorite detectives on Law and Order. Go watch Criminal Intent, by the way. But that's not the point I'm trying to make here. I love him, because you could see, right, like when he does that scene where he's like, I'm so sorry for Miss Cardenas, and like you can feel the sadness and the pain and all this, but he's like, but because he's so good at saying I have to do this, but really he's a monster. He's a monster, and he's kind of living, like Miss Gal kept saying, your foot's here, your foot's there, you're kind of in and out. You can't be savior and oppressor. You gotta pick one. Yeah. You gotta pick one. And that's the thing that happened. That's how most criminals, especially mob bosses, got, right? Because they, they're great to their community. They go to a lot of Italian mobsters went to church on Sundays. Like, they would go to, they would, say like, thank you, God, praise Jesus. And like, they're in front of God, and like a couple hours later, they're strangling somebody, you know what I mean? And like, and they dump them in a river, you know what I mean? So it's, because, evil people try to find absolution and trying to find justification with their actions because they're like, some people are just evil. Some people are just evil. I love that scene specifically, Justin. I don't know if it was in episode 10 where Matt Murdock goes to the priest and he tells him, do you believe in the devil? Is the devil real?
It's the beginning of episode 9.
Yeah. Like, do you believe in the devil? Like, there's the devil, and he's like, and he tells him a story. Then he's like, oh, so you don't believe in the devil? I was like, am I done talking? Am I done talking? He's like, oh, my bad, Father. Sorry. The father got a little attitude. He was like, shut the hell up. Let me finish my story.
Well, man, you should have let him finish the story.
Exactly. You should have let him finish the story. Then when he finished the story, he said, then I met the devil that day. And I'm like, yo.
Exactly.
And the devil is a 6'6" man who's bald, likes to wear white. Well, black. Then he'll wear white because if you know.
He goes to gray. He doesn't transfer strictly to white immediately.
Because he wears the white suit. The white suit's very iconic for that.
Yeah. So we do jump into speaking of bad guys, we have Fisk or not Fisk, but we have Daredevil going and trying to mac on Fisk's girl over here at the art gallery.
Yeah, that was a dangerous move.
Yeah, to me that was like a little weird because it wouldn't have been if these. Now I know these two characters don't know what each other looks like. Yeah. So that part, but they actually had a pretty lengthy conversation. Now the way you can explain it is like well, it was over like a walkie-talkie system or whatever, so like maybe the voices don't sound exactly the same. But they literally do have a pretty long conversation in an episode before this, when Daredevil's trapped for a little while with the Russian. And in this episode, they're standing right in front of each other, talking to each other, and they don't know technically who each other is. So that would be the one nitpick, I guess I'd say about this scene. Otherwise, I thought it was kind of cool.
Daredevil definitely knew that was Wilson Fisk. Wilson Fisk has no idea he's talking to the man in the mask.
Yeah,
true.
He knows him as the lawyer, who's representing the tenement. That's who because remember they hired him to be Mr. Healy's attorney. So Wesley and him, like Wesley told him, we hired this little rinking dick law whatever for Mr. Healy, and they probably have dossiers on him and Foggy. You know what I mean? So they're probably mad and battling Jack and the eyes and all that stuff. But he doesn't know he's the devil. He doesn't know he's Daredevil yet. He's just some blind lawyer looking at art. What is this man? He's probably like, what's this? Because he knows he's broke. So he's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Like, why are you here? You know what I mean? Because he knows the rinky dink. He knows they're not making money at this law firm because he probably has. So it's like, why are you trying to buy art that you can't afford? So he's probably like, I'm a little weary of you, Matt Murdock, but he doesn't want to see him paranoid and ready to kill him because his girl's right there. Who, it's kind of like his center. In a sense.
We do go to another scene between Matt Murdock and the priest. I didn't pick up a huge thing there, but I mean, if any of y'all remembered anything about that second meeting when they're actually sitting in the church and you have the Christ statue.
That's when the priest was like, I think you didn't go see Vanessa because you were looking for something that would let you kill Wilson. You were looking for something that would stop you from doing it. So I think that was actually a pretty important scene.
Yeah.
Shout out to the priest, man. He funny. He's awesome. Good. He's amazing. He's like, how did you know I was sitting right here?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. He's like, huh, interesting. The priest is a little weary of Matt Murdock. He's like, how do you know this? How did you know I'm sitting right here? I could have been sitting three, in the pew 3 to the side. But I said right here. How is it? It's like, he probably in his mind was like, blind my ass. You know what I mean? He's like, because he just showed up. And that was a great scene, man. Yo, the priest was killing it. Man, he was killing it these past episodes, man. Shout out to him. Yo, whoever he is, whoever the actors, get that man an award, man. He killed that shit. God, I love Daredevil, Justin. I was shocked that you've never watched it, Justin. This feels like a Justin show.
It's one of those things to where I'm enjoying it. And I even kind of enjoyed the first 2 episodes, but whenever we first started covering this, there was a lot going on. This technically didn't count in the MCU. So I started watching it. I did like the first episodes. I wasn't blown away by the first episodes, but I liked them, enough that I would have normally kept going. But there was just a lot going on, a lot of other stuff I wanted to watch.
Perfectly fine.
Because it didn't count. If this would have been part of the MCU from the beginning, I probably would have watched it anyway.
Yeah. This and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, some good shit.
Because this right here was when the MCU was kicking it, when this was out at the same time. So even the Marvel MCU, Disney MCU was really going strong.
No, because Disney strictly did movies. They were just doing movies. The only TV show they had was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which technically wasn't even part of canon either. It was sort of, but then sort of wasn't.
It wasn't, and then it became.
Yeah, sort of. It's weird.
They retconned it. They retconned it kind of.
Yeah.
They actually spoiled Captain America, Winter Soldier, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because they were the first instance of showing that S.H.I.E.L.D. was invaded by Hydra.
They didn't spoil it. That episode came out after Winter Soldier came out. It just spoiled it for people who hadn't gone to see Winter Soldier yet.
After the first weekend. So first weekend happened, and then the show episode comes out. Everyone was like, wait, what? So everyone got mad.
Why is everything infiltrated by Hydra suddenly?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there was a period when the MCU, everything they put out was, if it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, or you didn't think it was the greatest thing in the world, you still thought it was really good. Now it's kind of it got to where it was kind of iffy. I've kind of fallen off of I don't really care to watch everything in the timeline right now. but I'm hoping that it looks like maybe some promising things are coming in the future that I might jump into. Like I'll probably still watch all the major movies and stuff that comes out no matter what.
I can't wait. Because shout out to our Rewatchers Council show. We're branching out. Shout out to everyone who's been supportive of that. We may be doing a MCU rewatch. There's a couple things in the MCU that I've never watched because I just haven't watched it. Like I missed season 2 of Loki. Didn't watch Thor: Love and Thunder. I missed a lot. So I
that was actually still a good movie. It was sometime after that to me it started.
Need to watch the Eternals. I heard the Eternals are really good.
Crappy. I did not like that.
I love the Eternals.
That was trash to me, man. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, I don't have to go see every MCU movie.
Yeah,
I'm kind of gonna.
Yeah, I've missed a couple. But you're also talking to a man who took him 5 years to finish Doctor Strange. So you know what I mean. So yeah, I kept falling asleep. No offense to you, Benedict Cumberbatch, but it made me sleepy.
All right, well, let's get back to Daredevil.
To Daredevil, I just want to say that the actor who played Father Lantom was Peter McRobbie. He's a Scottish actor, and he did a fantastic job.
Tremendous, amazing.
Yeah, and so we get back to Daredevil, and we have they're in the lawyer's office again, talking and everything. Then they get the news. They head to the morgue, unfortunately, to find the Latina lady here. I cannot remember. Cardona or whatever.
Cardenas.
Mrs. Cardenas.
Mrs. Cardenas.
She was cool though. I actually liked that actor and stuff and everything. So I was like really into her performance and stuff. So it was kind of sad that she's the one they have to go identify. And you see everybody's emotion. Daredevil grips his walking stick tight. You know what's about to happen after that. But anything with that particular scene? Anybody got anything on that?
God, man, it was so sad.
I agree. It was pretty sad. Her character was really cool. Now, to me, I didn't like tear up or anything. That's just because she was kind of a minor character, but she was a really cool minor character. So I actually they built her up enough that I did feel something whenever it was like, oh damn, they took her ass out. But it is what it is.
Come on, Justin, have some respect. Took her ass out. Come on, man.
Well, they did take her ass out, man.
That's a good. That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
They did take her ass out. What are you talking about?
They did. You're right. I'm sorry. I just get because shout out to the minor characters, man. You get limited screen time, right? And you gotta make an impact. You gotta make an impact, and she did, man. She made an impact right away. Shout out to her, man, and shout out to that actress.
And then we get Daredevil going through, kicking some ass, trying to find out more and more information so he can go through and take care of these folks and all this.
Yeah.
So we have scenes of him finding and druggies and everything, and he's finding this little package what looks like almost like a Daredevil, not a Daredevil symbol, but a damn Riddler symbol on these little packages. Basically, is what I almost laughed whenever I saw it the first time. I was like, man, that looks like a question mark. Are we in the Batman series now? But yeah, he was going through taking these folks out, beating the shit out of them, and everything else, getting as much information as he can to find out. But comes to find out, it's actually a setup. They kind of there, and that he'll eventually come for them. And then we actually start seeing the beginning of the fight that we were seeing some of the ending part of it earlier, very first part of the show. We actually get to see the crescendo almost of the fight. It shows more of a beginning, and then we've already kind of seen the middle, and then later on we'll see the end.
And I liked it, man, because he's a regular dude. His heights may be sensed, he may be able to sense and stuff like that. But his power is what? Martial arts and heightened senses. But he's still a regular dude, and he gets his ass kicked in this fight. He gets his butt kicked a lot.
He does
because he's a regular dude. He's not Chris Evans, who's on steroids. By the way, that's a fact. By the way, but they call it super soldier serum steroids. So I'll point that out. He's not, in an Iron Man suit. He's not a god. You know what I mean? He's not very good at archery. He's not a
For one, I think he would be very good at archery. The man can see better than people without their eyes, basically. So I would assume
that's a good point.
And the person who taught him how to be like he is, for the most part, old Stick over there earlier in one of the episodes, was a really good archerist.
I enjoy it when they fight and he kicks his ass. He's like, I was like, oh wow.
I taught you well.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, like he gets his butt whooped, man. He's against basically like a master level ninja who has like a whip sword.
Before
what I
you
mean?
before you came in, I had mentioned to me he gets his ass whipped a little too much in this fight, and it not be the final episode of the season kind of fight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that? Do you think he got his ass whipped a little too much in this like fight, and then like we still have a couple of episodes to go in the season? The brutality of this fight, and hey, the last fight of this season may even be more brutal, right? Like than this, but I'm like the brutality in this fight reminded me of like the final boss kind of fight where you get your ass beat, you barely survive, hanging on to life kind of stuff.
Well, I think it showed ingenuity, right? Because he still has deficiencies. He's blind. He's still a man. It showed ingenuity when he where he trips him up and then he like sprays him with the gasoline and then he kicks the light and that's using his brain. You know what I mean? Because he's still new at this. This is still his year one of being a superhero. It's not like he's been. Yeah, it's not.
You skipped ahead a little bit, but yeah, he lit his ass up.
Yeah, exactly. So it showed ingenuity. I'm sorry, I had to move on a little bit because.
No, you're good because we kind of we got sidetracked, so we're trying to go through this a little quicker. So
exactly fine. Right. So it's used ingenuity. It's still year one. It's not. He's not in year 4 or 5. He's still wearing he's still wearing the. He doesn't have the suit yet. In these origin stories, the suit isn't there yet. So it's still year 1. Of course, he's getting his butt whipped by a master criminal who's been in the game for years. It's not like Nobu's not like some fresh face. He ain't no spring chicken, but he knows the game. So yeah, it makes sense why he got his ass whooped like that. I don't think And you want the
I don't think
to be
like I'm saying. Well, to me, the only thing I was saying was not that he didn't need to get his ass whooped like that.
Was it a little too much?
But I thought it was a little too much for it not to be the final fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he gets brutalized. Like I was saying earlier, he gets stabbed with that little sword whip thing in the stomach.
He dragged him with it too, remember?
And then drags him. He drags him with it in his belly. And like you said, he's a normal human. So, like, him being able to survive that fight and then get his ass beat by Fisk afterwards, we can go ahead and talk about that too, pretty brutally after that.
Yep.
And he barely survives, to me, would be like the final fight of the season kind of situation or whatnot. Now, I understand this is back when they actually did more than 8 episodes. So like, that's a little, something there too, but it's like, it's almost like that fight, you almost need an off season to recover afterwards.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. He should have got his ass beat. Like, I agree with that part of it.
Which is a little too much.
My favorite part was when Fisk was like, take your shot. He was ready to go right off the bat. That was dope.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And he was ready to fight.
Well, I'll just go ahead and we'll finish this episode out so we can jump to the next one and get through it as fast as we can. But Fisk comes in, beats that ass some more, and then he basically sends his guys to like kill him, and then he says, let the other guy burn to death, which I think he is dead already 10 minutes ago.
He's been dead.
Yeah, that dude's been burned alive for a pretty good while now.
Shish kebab.
And then Fisk walks away, or right before he gets out of the room, they're about to shoot him, and home dude hits one of the people with the guns that knocks the fire off target, so he misses him, and he jumps out of a window into the river or bay or whatever that is they're next to in that building.
Mm-hmm.
So he survives, but he not only survives, he's able to get his ass to his apartment.
Yep.
Which I'm going to assume is only like a block away. And while he's there, that's whenever we see Senor Foggy coming in there, and
Senor Foggy.
Yep, seeing his ass be hurt. And I think like the last part of this episode is him like taking the mask off, seeing who he is, and then the episode ends. So
we skipped over the part where they were all in the bar drinking and like having like a little wake for Mrs. Cardenas. So Foggy's really drunk and he's pounding on Matt's door, wanting Matt to let him in, and he hears like a crash in Matt's apartment. So he goes in the back way through the roof access or whatever,
fire escape,
and that's when he finds Matt, and he's ready to call 911, and then he hangs up the phone.
It's my favorite thing about these shows and like shows in general. Like when you call 911 and you don't
just hang up,
and they still send people.
They call you back. back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll call you back and you can be like, it was accidental. I hit the wrong
Yeah.
button. Sorry, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't send nobody, but yes, they call you back immediately.
Exactly. So yeah,
but it's one of those things you can
it's
just
like, that's real. That's real
as long
life.
as the rest of the show's good. These are those things like we've talked about before.
That's a nitpick for no reason.
No, but here it would be for a reason if the rest of the show wasn't written well, right? So like 95 to 96, maybe even 97% of the show is written well, done well,
99.
and then there's like a few percentage points to where a detail's missed here and there, or this kind of thing happens. You can ignore it when the show's good, entertaining, and everything else is going good. But these are the things that kills me when the show isn't good, right? And it's nothing's detailed. There's like 6, 7 things I can pick apart in an episode. Then it becomes even worse because it just piles on to the stuff that's already there right in front of your face. But luckily, this show doesn't have none of that. Episode 10 is named Nelson versus Murdoch. We'll skim through this really quick just because of the fact there is a lot of conversation, character building, that kind of thing in this. There's a couple of moments in here and there. Like the beginning part of the episode is both Nelson and Murdoch kind of like fighting each other because of the fact that he finds out he's Daredevil and he's like crazy, and Daredevil's put in a bad light with the media and how they're covering and everything else. And then he doesn't know, like, is Daredevil a bad guy, good guy? So they're having those kind of discussions. Is there anything during that first part of the episode that anybody had to add?
I just think it's a really great conversation between two guys that have been friends for a really long time.
Yep.
And like one of them has been lying to the other about stuff, and the other one doesn't know how far those lies extend. And I think before you get Foggy going, are you even blind? Like, what is the deal? And finally Matt tells someone like what he sees, what happened to him when the chemicals went in his eyes, and his senses are heightened and all of that, because he says he never even told his father about that when he was a kid. So I just think it's a really fantastically written conversation, and I think that Charlie Cox and Eldon Henson acted the hell out of it.
Yeah, man. Because like those are kind of the keys. You'll find out later on in certain other episodes where it's a show, man. It's about dialogue, and you need to have good dialogue. And imagine this dude you've known since college, right? And you've basically been attached at the hip for 4 years.
Representation.
Was for our blind viewers, I was making an attachment thing.
The blind people wouldn't see it, Ferris.
No, exactly. That's what we're telling you what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing. So I put my fist together because attached to the hip. So like 4 years. Then how long you go to law school? 2, 3 years, maybe 4, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's more than that. It's more like a 6-year degree, if I'm not mistaken, because you have to do like 4 years of college. Then I think it takes you about 2 years to be able to like pass the bar, do the stuff for the bar. Like you have to go to regular school, get a degree, then you go and take
exactly.
Law school.
So it's 4 years of college, and then 2 to 3 years extra because you also have to have an internship or something. So that's 7 years, and then they get an internship at Lamon and Zach, which they're there for a year or two. So you've been with this dude every single day for almost 10 years.
I will say this to Matt's point earlier. I don't think I get that he throws that out there, but I get the blind thing. I get him throwing the blind thing out there. Like, are you even blind? As more of like a symbolic phrase.
Yeah.
But you've been with him that much, he's blind. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, no matter what he's lying about, he's blind. You're not that stupid, Foggy. Okay. But I can also see him throwing it out as not like a statement of,
what are you lying about?
Really blind?
Yeah.
But he's throwing it out there as like, bro, I can't believe you on anything. Like, even if you're blind or not. But he's kind of saying it like, even though he knows he's blind, he's kind of just throwing it out there. What can I believe you on?
But then you kind of what was great about the scene is like when Matt tells you, how am I supposed to tell you, Foggy? Like, no, I'm not blind. I see you, but I see you in a sonic state. How do you tell someone that? How do you ease somebody into that? And then at some point you kind of just forget to tell them, and you kind of just go about life and you forget, because he wasn't the Devil's a Hell Kitchen when he was in college and grad school. He wasn't there. He wasn't there yet.
Yeah, but to me, he still qualifies as blind because actually
he is blind.
He is blind.
You know,
You're
he's
right,
blind, but
but
I'm just saying,
blind
like,
people in the real world, right? Like they have heightened senses too. The whole
that's
cool
actually not
part.
true.
No, they have heightened senses because of the fact that they don't. Because you don't. If you
They're
take away one of your senses, so for instance,
they're
straight
more
up,
in tune with their other senses. I don't know
Yes,
that I'd
exactly.
necessarily say that they're
They're
Well,
not,
I
they're not
mean, right,
Daredevil. They're not
come on,
Daredevil.
man. I'm just saying.
But
I
they're
ain't
not.
saying
Yeah, I
heightened
know,
to
but they're, yeah,
Daredevil
exactly.
sense. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
point about Daredevil being a cool superhero, is he's got like another level of heightened senses that nobody else
How do you,
normally
Ben
would
Affleck?
get. But like here, right? So you're driving a car. This is like scientifically known. So like you're driving a car, you're listening to music, right? Normally you listen to your music kind of loud or whatever, right? But it starts raining on you as you're driving. One of the first things they tell you to do is turn the radio either off or a lot lower than what it is, because you're overstimulating all your senses, your eyes, your hearing, all this stuff, and you could cause you to get into a wreck or accident or whatnot. So that even happens for people that's like not blind. But if you're blind, those other senses like hearing and stuff picks up because you're actually missing one of your senses completely. So in everyday blind people, but like I said, it's nothing like Daredevil, or we would just have a bunch of Daredevils hopping around like New York City, you know, beating up gang members and shit. We don't have that, obviously.
Yeah, man, it's a great just two dudes working out their problems, friends for years, and he's like because here's the thing too, man. You know, he's heard Foggy talk about how much he hates the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Now he's a psycho. He's a murderer. Like, what's up with this guy?
Foggy wants to punch him in the face at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Foggy wants to face at one point.
Oh, I do agree with that too. I agree with that part of it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like I'd want to hit my friend too. It's like, bro, why didn't you tell me? I would probably backed you up. I could have helped you. Like, maybe I can't go out there and fight like a ninja or nothing, but maybe I could help you plan something out, or I'd back you up. Like, we're really good friends. We're that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ride or dies over here. So I'd be more pissed about that.
You know,
I wouldn't be in a
like,
Foggy situation where I was mad that as much about him lying, because I could kind of understand where the lying's coming from and why he would. He's trying to keep it secret from as most people as he can. And maybe he's even doing that to protect me. So I wouldn't be super pissed off with that. But I would be more mad about you not telling me because, bro, I'd help you out. Like, I'm there for you.
No, no, you're right. Also, too, Justin. Oh, my bad, Matt.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like Ned in Spider-Man, where he's like, I could be your dude in the chair. Foggy, I could have been your dude in the chair.
Yeah.
You know, the guy, I could have helped you out and stuff like that. You know, because at the end of the day, man, you know, because friendship is like, I'll help you out. You know, like being a vigilante, being a lawyer, like we told each other everything. Because Foggy told him everything. Because here's the problem, Justin. Yeah. Foggy has told him everything. Everything
right,
about
that.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, except for the fact that he's Daredevil, right? Like he's told.
No, I'm talking about Foggy.
Yeah, okay.
Foggy has told Matt everything about him.
Yeah, you feel betrayed a little bit there. Yeah.
So he's like, I've told you everything about me. You know everything about me. You kept a piece of yourself away from me, because you know what I mean. And it kind
pulling back the curtain even a little bit, like on the channel here, is like ever since like we got together, you know, Ferris has always been my chair guy, right? Like, obviously, that's how it works. Like, and I appreciate Ferris for being the chair guy. I appreciate.
I'm definitely not the chair guy. All right,
he's the chair guy.
No, I'm not. I'm not the chair guy.
If anyone's the chair guy, I'm the chair guy.
Adelia's definitely the chair. Yeah.
Well, Matt, what was you about to say a second ago?
She's Barbara Gordon.
The line I really liked from Foggy was when he goes, so all the times I was lying to you, you knew? Because could you imagine if like someone could tell that you're lying, you know, and like you think back to all the shit you might have said or something like that, you know, because no one's really like 100% honest all the time with everybody.
Look, man, shit, listen, I'm not even trying to be technically funny here. This is actually a real thing that would have came across my mind, probably even Ferris's, maybe even Matt's. Don't know that much about Adelia's, but I'd have been like, bro, that one time we in college and you came through the door and I was masturbating, you knew it? You heard it before you came in the door?
What, Justin?
What? Why are you bringing this up?
You could hear that? And you didn't warn me?
That's not what he was talking about. He's talking
but I'm telling you, as a real person, I would have been like thinking about all the embarrassing moments that I could have had with my friend that like, oh, I didn't think he knew because he couldn't hear it or whatever. But it's like, bro, you heard all that? Even if you take masturbation out of it, say Foggy's like getting it on with a girl, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to keep it like down low, and now you heard everything.
That's how great a friend Matt is. He knew everything and he didn't say nothing.
True, but that is a little weird when you find out like Foggy did.
But
because now you know he knew it all the time.
Exactly, but that's a bonus for Matt.
What if he was doing something really weird?
I'll let you do what you. I'll let you be you. You know, that's
like,
a
what
bonus
if he was doing something really weird?
That's actually
like
good. Like what?
Like
you know what? Let's
like keep so for instance, you bake like an apple pie, right? And then you just got through watching the movie from back in the day.
Why are we discussing this?
I don't know where he's going. I don't know where he's going.
And then you just got through watching the movie American Pie.
Oh, okay, that's what you're
like, you know what? I saw this in the movie one time. And my man Daredevil comes in the door and like, but you were good at hiding it, right? You did all the little things and everything, like even maybe through the pie away, but Daredevil heard and knew exactly what you were doing the whole time. But here goes the thing though, is with the lying part, like Daredevil is pretty good at reading people because he can hear their heartbeat, but he doesn't really know if you're actually lying or not. Like he has a good tell on it because your heartbeat does something, but that your heartbeat can only give you away in certain things. Like your heartbeat can go up because you're excited about what you're talking about, not because you're lying about it. Mm-hmm. You know, that kind of thing. So that there is a leeway there for him not to know every little thing.
Well, shout out to Nobu. He talks about how Nobu, like he's like probably a master, knows how to slow his heart rate down to a point where he's undetectable.
Yeah.
Right. So if some people can do that. Just like so, because Nobu points out, your master has taught you in our ways, because he knows about stick. So he barely noticed Nobu was near him, because Nobu had a really low heartbeat. But then Nobu said, "I'm here to kill you." Then he found out he was there. You know what I mean?
I will like to move it on. Like I say, we're already going for like 41 minutes here, but I want to say I could watch a show that was Fisk, and I think her name's Madame Gao.
Madame Gao, yes.
I could just watch a show where they're the two bad guys and respecting each other and killing a bunch of folks.
I would too.
I think they work great together. The way that he's so big and overpowering and she looks so frail, but then like they both have that respect. The way they interact with each other and everything else is like super awesome and amazing. And I literally could watch, multiple seasons of them two just being bad guys and interacting with each other the full time, because they do bang up job.
Yeah, they're great.
I love her. I love how she's like, and I'm gonna speak English to you because I want you to understand me when I tell you you fucking up. All right, and I'm like, all right, gangster. All right, okay. It's like no more. Stop talking Mandarin to me. All right.
Yep, I know.
Enough of that nonsense.
I know you know.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Now I'm gonna speak in your tongue so you don't understand, so you don't misconstrue what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get your.
No, she's together. A badass, man. I like the lady that plays that. Like I said, and just them two together had very good chemistry in the way that they're supposed to have it. It's just real fascinating when I see both of them on the screen at the same time. As we go through the episode, we get like flashbacks and stuff. We kind of really sort of talk about that, their college days and everything. Yeah. We get a lot of that stuff going on. Then we get Ben and, his wife's situation and everything where he might be having to move her out of the hospital.
That was weird to me. That was weird to me that she led him to that hospital, like on a whim. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's check it out for your wife. When the whole time she knew that Pitt's mom was there.
The thing with Karen at the end.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But I think Justin's talking about the part with Ben's wife in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where she
no, but it's fine. Like I said, we're trying to speed through it so we can talk about both of these.
They're kind of connected. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we find out what's wrong with Ben's wife. He comes in and tells Karen, and then like Matt just said, Karen's like, come with me, and then they go to this place that has this.
We should point out that before they leave to go to this nursing home upstate, which is what Karen says it is, Ben is giving her all the details that he knows on the case and is basically saying, I'm done. And Karen is like, well, there's something here that might change your mind, but I can't tell you that because of what you said about your wife. So I'm going to say maybe this is a place for your wife to get you to go with me. Karen totally tricked him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's that's the thing that like I think Matt's kind of kicking on a little bit there.
Yep.
Is that it is weird. It is weird that she would like trick him into doing something like that in such a serious situation.
Yeah.
I agree with that, right?
Exactly. Like, yeah, because she knows he's ready to quit because he got the job offer to be the editor. He got a good pay raise, which then helps with the medical stuff because he gets the pay raise. And she basically poked at his, because to be a journalist, you got to be a certain level of crazy and a certain level of especially his type of journalism, which is investigative, going after bad people who will kill you to hide a story. So you got to be a certain level, crazy and fearless bravery type thing. And she sees that he's kind of inches away from like killing it, like his investigative gene is about to die, but she just pokes it. She keeps poking it, and then when they start talking to his mom who has dementia, just like his wife, that journalist thing in Ben just got reactivated, and he's like, shit. And in journalism,
it was just weird to me. Even how they found her room, and she's just like, "Oh, let's just go in this room." Like what?
No, I totally agree with you, Matt. Is that you can argue that what she's doing is for the greater good, right?
Yeah.
She thinks that they need his help and everything, so she's like, "Well, this is probably wrong to do at this point in time, but I'm going to do it anyway because we're going to need him," kind of situation. So you could have that argument, but I agree with you. It's kind of a shitty thing for her to do, is like play this kind of like
it was pretty messed up.
To try to get him enticed into staying on the story when he's going through this super serious thing with his wife, and he's just kind of wanting to, because here's the thing, his wife still has these good moments, and I get the feeling, not just the fact that he's having to do the hospice thing because they don't have a lot of money, but I also get the feeling that he's wanting to spend those moments with his wife, right? That he's going to get this good along with the bad and everything else. So I don't think he wants to miss those moments. But guess what happens if you're out trying to break this case and out trying to do all that? That's going to cause him to miss some like last few like good moments with his wife.
Yeah, and he even told Karen, I can't put her in the hospice, so I'm going to take time off work and bring her home. So she could, spend her last days with him at their home. And Yep.
And well, that's pretty much this episode. Then we do have a final scene of Foggy like throwing away the sign that they had put together and made for their design for their law office and firm. He throws it in the trash and walks out the door.
Yep.
And that would be the end of the episode 10. And so we'll be jumping into episode 11 and 12, like I said, and then we'll be doing a post credits for that. And then after that, we'll be doing a post credits for the final episode of the season, which is episode 13, since it's odd numbers and not even, which I also find kind of weird. So most of the time
that was if you were following the them when they were being made, that was always the biggest problem with them in Netflix. Netflix wanted 10. Disney wanted 13, or was it the other way around? I don't know. They beefed over episode, like season length.
Right.
And they beefed over it because they're like, we don't want this. No, we want this. And then someone wanted 10, someone wanted 13. I don't know who it was, but that's why after, season 2 of What's his face? Iron Fist. They're like, you know what? We're done. We're done. We're done with we're done.
To me, I don't think you have to go old school when a lot of shows had like 26 episodes for a season or whatever. Some of them would even break apart and be like, oh, this is the mid-season finale. And then they'd come back a few months later with the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah, because they would then send everybody on holiday and everyone would have Christmas. Stuff like that.
But I think it's somewhere in the middle. I do like a 12 or 13 episode season. Even a 10 more than I like the 8, because more than likely on most of the things I've seen with like 8 episodes or less, it's not very good.
Feels rushed
a lot of times. Yeah, like you have no time in there, like for character building episodes, because they feel like, oh my god, can we get this on? Because we only got one more episode left. And
see, that's what I always liked the back in the day it was 20 episodes, and people are like, oh man, these are filler. Like the filler, they're filler. Because they fill out some.
I don't mind filler whenever there's that many episodes. I mind filler when you only got 8 episodes.
some of the best filler episodes I've ever watched was Avatar: The Last Airbender. And some of those filler episodes that people complained about, it added a lot to the characters individually, because certain episodes are individual based.
Me and you need to do a post credits. I know we haven't done one for a movie or anything yet, but me and you need to do a post credits where we watch one of your favorite movies of all time, made by M. Night Shyamalan. Last Airbender.
You watch your mouth. You watch your mouth, sir. You
But
know
watch
what?
your mouth.
You know when Star Wars.
He's one of the top 3 directors.
You know when old Star Wars fans talk about how like these movies ruined their childhood. That movie actually ruined my childhood because I was an actual child when it came out. All right. For that.
Yeah,
right.
see, you like this is a good point Ferris is making. I actually agree with him.
I was an actual child.
That phrase, I hate it because it doesn't make sense, because you're not a child. It didn't ruin your childhood. You still had those good moments. You can still go back to those good moments. It's not like they erased the old things out of existence. But if you were literally a child,
I was literally a child.
Then I agree with him because it ruined it while he was a child.
You know, imagine, Justin, you're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender live on Nickelodeon. And you're like, this show's awesome. By the way, this is the show. This show is the reason Dave Filoni has a career. So you're welcome, Star Wars fans. And I was so happy. I was like, we're gonna get a movie. I'm so happy. And it has Dev Patel in it. Because Dev Patel is a big fan because of Slumdog Millionaire. Like, oh man, Dev Patel's in it. Swear to God, man, I've never seen a.
Listen,
swear to God, man. I swear to
as
God.
we get out of here, we're gonna have everybody's final thoughts and give like their little grades and scores. But I do want to send this message out to folks. Listen, guys, if you're ever gonna do anything that might be a little questionable, the piece of advice I'm gonna give you is pretend that your best friend's Daredevil and he might be on the other side of the door. Okay.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you're never going to do anything bad. He might be out there listening somewhere.
And I can sense Adelia's heartbeat. She's very, very upset. I can sense it.
You know what I'm saying?
What? How do I end up in these situations with you?
All right. Well, with that being said, Adelia, these situations.
That, Adelia, but you have a choice here. You want it here. All right.
But with that being said, Adelia, you're stuck in the situation of grading these episodes, and any last thoughts?
I'd give them an 8. The two combined, I'd give an 8. Really looking forward to getting to the end of this season and seeing what everybody has to say about it, because I remember the finale pretty good, so I can't wait to watch it again.
Ferris.
And I'll give it a 9. I love these. I love this show. Really, right. It's one of my favorite Marvel entities altogether, because I think it's tremendous. Yeah, man, it's gonna be great. I can't wait till you watch. I can't wait to watch season 2, Justin, because season 2 is awesome. I can't wait, for you to watch the finale. I'm just, I'm not trying to big it up because I don't want to make it too good. You overhype it. I like it. I think you will like it as well.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I give it an 8. Also, I really like these episodes. Yeah, just want to keep watching.
He just hates Foggy.
I just don't like Foggy.
But with mine, I'm giving, especially with Ferris on the episode, a 7.130.
I swear to God,
be my score.
I say,
which equivalates in a bell curve kind of way to like a B+ right here with these two episodes.
I am so confused by your grading system.
Well, it's because of the way my 1 to 10 works. It's like basically like 7.5 to 10 is an A, right? Then I would say like 5 to like 7.5 is a B. Then you have C. I don't really give like F's out there. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Like, because I ain't even doing L's. I'm like, really and truthfully here, when you're giving grades for show, it has to be really bad for me to consider you to be below a C. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay. You got to be in the 3 range for like D's and F's.
Yeah.
But with that being said, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Please, we got that banner that's been going around because somebody remembered it this time. I don't know if it was a Ferris or Adelia, but thanks.
Adelia.
Join that Ko-Fi or Ko-Fi or coffee. Drink a cup of coffee with me. Come on down. That's what we're doing right here. And you can join these with us and stuff. And you can also join the Discord.
That's free.
That's free. Join the Discord. You can hang out with us and talk about, if Daredevil's listening to you on the other side of the door or not. Link to the Discord is in the description of this episode.
Link to the Discord is in the description of this episode. All right.
We also have a survey. If you guys want to, longtime viewers of the channel, or or a new viewer, fill out that survey. We're trying to gain a lot of feedback on improvements to the channel and certain things certain people want to watch.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. Until next time, guys. May the force be with you. Because I'm wearing Star Wars, and Star Wars is in the background. And peace.
Just hit the button, Justin.
Hey, Ferris. Is Daredevil listening to you?
Probably.
Think about that about 2:00 in the morning.
All right. I want to be asleep by then, but my schedule is messed up. Just hit the damn button, man.